building.
as promised, like we was saying, and all of that stuff on all of that promo on Instagram and social media. We got a nice show tonight, you know what I mean? Rosetta Marie came through again, doing the thing that she does the most on that post. Stay tuned. We have Amelia Moore joining us. So, you know what I mean? We're gonna get into this show right here. You know, and we're gonna give everybody a moment to get here. I got my motherfucking co-host with me tonight.
You know what I'm saying? Looking cute.
Rosetta Maria. Ha ha. In Spanish.
He did the extra. Okay. He doing
La Rosa.
Doing all that extra stuff, you know. So for anybody that is currently listening, tell your friends to join us. Make sure that y'all post in the comments because it's going to be lit. Like I met Amelia a couple of times. She's dope. And she like to let you know. You know what I mean? Like she don't play. So we're gonna have a good conversation tonight.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? A little bit about Amelia, if no one knows. She has a book that's out. It's entitled CEO versus CEO.
CEO.
Amelia's More. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be talking to her about that, how you can get the book, you know, what she's been up to. She has a extent in the she has a nice discography when it comes to music and entertainment. She's been in the music business for some time, you know what I mean, with some real notable well-known Rough Rider Records, and she was the president of Rough Rider Lifestyle. So we're gonna as soon as Amelia comes on, we're gonna jump into all of that music stuff, you know what I mean, for y'all up and coming people out there, artists, and you know what I mean, we're gonna kick it tonight. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're gonna open up the chat room once everybody get here. So we're giving everybody a chance to get here. Rosetta Marie.
Just so y'all know, I'm wearing orange. I'm wearing an orange and black top.
I know we got a bunch of
and
people
over here I got on Halloween colors
tapping in too as well. So hope to hear from y'all folks out there, you know what I mean? So we're gonna just so y'all can get a feel for the sister that we're gonna have on tonight. You know what I mean? I want y'all to check this out right here. You know what I mean? Just so y'all could get a feel of her work. You know what I mean? What she's done as a journalist, as a TV host. So we're gonna play this clip real quick. And when she joins, you know what I mean, we're gonna get right into it.
What's up, everybody? It's your host with the most, Ameliamore, giving you your daily dose. We're here at 150 Varick for none other than 3 Olives Grand Fiesta. Kim Kardashian is the host of the evening. There are so many people that are here. You don't want to go anywhere. You want to keep it right here because we're going to give you your daily dose. Celebrity?
Absolutely not.
And now that
years, no.
And now that you are, what do you say to the rest of the housewives that are out there?
Just keep doing what you're doing and be happy.
And what else is going on with you?
Oh my God, so much. Allison's working this summer, and so we're a lot in the city. Normally I'd be out in the Hamptons, but staying here with my daughter while she's working during the week, and we're going to do some traveling in August, so it's going to be a nice summer.
Now, Allison, I want to ask you, it's like mom is always mom, but now mom is a celebrity mom. How does that feel now? And, what do you say to other people that are becoming celebrities and their moms are becoming famous?
Well, it was a little weird at work today. I was on Twitter and, went on the homepage. I see Us Weekly Twitter that, Jill Zarin's house is up for sale. It's it's my, apartment. I died. I'm like, why does everyone know that we're selling?
And what do you hope to aspire to do now, given that, little extra boost with the celebrity of your mom and family?
Well, hopefully I'll be a photographer, so I got a lot of connections, you know, being a reality show with photographers and filmmaking and all that stuff, so it's really great.
Continued success to you, darling. More Daily Dose. Don't go anywhere. Keep it right here. First, I want to talk about this fabulous dress you have on. Who is the designer? I love it.
It's vintage.
It's hot.
Thank you, honey.
You know, it's a lot to be said about individual personalities and style. What do you say to our viewers about Erin's style?
It's a lot of trial and error. I didn't look so cute a couple years ago, but after a lot of mistakes, I've learned, and just have fun with it, really. That's the most important part.
You know, that's so funny, Erin, because that seems to be the underlining theme all day. Like talking to a lot of people, they're talking about enjoying life and experiencing life. What experiences do you hope to have in the very near future? Because I know that this is pretty new for you. And, you know, just continuing on, I know you're working on some things. Talk about it.
Yeah, I live for traveling. I would love to find a way to travel and get paid for it.
Yeah, what's up, people? What's going on, people?
We in the building. Amelia in the freaking building.
He is here. He is here. You know what I mean? Welcome to the show, Amelia.
Thank you for having me, for real. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got a lot of questions to ask you, you know what I mean? And we did our research, got all in your business a little bit, but we're gonna be friendly about it.
That's what's up.
All right. But now it's a pleasure having you here. Just for the viewers and the listeners out there, where do you hail from? Where are you from?
Okay, so I was born in Queens, New York, raised in a
New
small
York in the
town called
building.
Stepford,
I didn't hear what she
Massachusetts, but
said.
my
What
family is
New York
Brooklyn.
are we talking
So when
about?
I came back to New York, I lived in Brooklyn, but I hail from Harlem now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
All right.
from Queens.
And
You
occasionally
from
in the
Queens.
eggs.
All right. Okay.
I'm
I
talking
knew you
about.
had Brooklyn swag in you. I knew it. Like the day I met you, I already knew you had Brooklyn swag.
I'm
That's what my
outnumbered up
family's
here,
from.
y'all.
My family was raised in Brooklyn. My
Outnumbered.
mom
We
and
got the
everybody.
Brooklyn women up in here tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You
But,
already
yeah,
know.
so you know what I mean. Welcome to the show. We see you released a book, CEO to versus CEO. It's been out
Yes.
for a minute now. You know what I mean. You've been doing your thing with it. Can you just tell us about what's going on now? What you've been up to? You know what I mean? What's some of the moves you've been making? And we're gonna go backwards. We're gonna get into the book and your whole extended Rough Riders and all that. But could you tell us what you up to now and what's your newfound passion?
Well, as you can see, I'm in the studio. My life, my passion now is about being talent,
Facts.
content creator, producer, all of that good stuff.
Loving it.
So I'm enjoying acting, writing poetry. You know, I still do my community outreach because that's a very big part of me. I'm a child and woman advocate. So,
For real.
you
Okay.
know, but most people know me as just like always being in the mix, and I'm just too busy celebrating the 50 years of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's definitely my culture, and it's wonderful to see the true school finally rise.
Yeah. So what are some like things that you advocate for? You said women and children. Like what is like some more specific like charities that you or you know philanthropy that you get involved in?
Well, I mean, you know, for me, it's wherever God leads me. So, like,
Mhm.
as far as child advocacy, anybody that sees my Instagram or whatever, I'm always screaming at people because they're forgetting that children are not little adults, they're children. And we should address them that way, and that their mind is not developed until they're 25. So some of these decisions that they're giving to children, their cognitive and analytical thinking is not at the point where they can really assess a gray matter. Yet we're asking them to do so. Children are very black and white, and they learn from their environment, but it's how we nurture them. And to each his own. I'm not saying anything, you know, to be derogatory, but I think we're missing that point.
Yeah.
You know, which, you know, later on down the lines, 20 years, we're going to talk about adult trauma due to, you know, child choices.
Yes. I think that's so important. Like one thing that we don't have in our communities, especially like in the more ethnic communities, I don't think we have this anywhere, but especially with us, we don't have like therapy sessions for kids, right? People think about therapy more of, and I know that we're here to talk about like your journey and stuff, but you just like touched
No,
like
but I'm
something that's a
fine with
passion
that.
for mine, right? Like people don't really like talk about the trauma that people get growing up in the hood that trickles into like our adulthood.
And
You
it's
know,
very real. I do a lot of reaching in the city. And, we teach children how to, first of all, there's no such thing as can't. You just don't know how. That's the first rule.
that's a
Second
good
rule
one.
is find out what your passion is because that's where you're going to find your peace. And eventually that's where you're going to find your profession because you're going to love what you're doing and doing what you love. So money doesn't matter. Even though that might be a personal goal of you, you'll find that satisfaction because you're doing what you love.
Okay.
And I think one of the things that I love to teach parents, educators, anybody who's listening that really cares about our children is to understand children develop in 5-year cycles.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so your 1-year-old is really your 16-year-old, and your 1-year-old is really your 21-year-old. Because like when kids are young, when 1-year-olds are very explorative, right?
Okay.
2-year-olds start setting their boundaries, they're exploring their boundaries, right? So they're gonna test. 3-year-olds are now defining their boundaries. So when you say no, they still want to touch because they're defining it and learning cause and effect. Your 4-year-olds finally get it. Oh shoot! If I do this, mom's gonna pop me. So
Right.
Chill on that. Right. And 5-year-olds, they get it all together. But now fast forward to your teenage years. Your 16-year-old is your 1-year-old exploring. Your 17-year-old is their 2-year-old that you want to start because they're testing you. Your 18-year-old is your 3-year-old that you want to shoot and kill and tell him if God helps
Oh,
you.
right. Kind of, it's like a cycle. It keeps going back around.
19-year-old is your 4-year-old and your 20-year-old is you're back in love. But then when you look at 21 to 25, it's still that same repeating process. The 20-year-old is out there exploring. 22-year-old is start defining. 23-year-old is defiant. 24-year-old, you're back in love. And 25-year-old, you're sending them off because you feel good.
So what you say about somebody over 40?
Well, you know what? Some people don't really face their own truth. And so sometimes they live in such denial that they repeat their cycle even though they're supposed to develop. Because after 25, your brain is actually prepared to do that critical and analytical thinking. And you'll see those young adults that really tap into that, they excel. But those that are just, for whatever reasons, have certain learned behaviors, certain false truths that they can't quite get it together because they keep on believing that lie instead of facing the truth. Sometimes that can go on for someone's whole lifestyle.
Amelia,
I'm a late bloomer, so I've lived so many lies, but I face the truth now, through the grace of God.
Amen.
Yeah.
So tell us about how Amelia started in this industry. I know that you were down with Rough Riders, right? Like, was that your start, or tell us? We want to hear raw, girl.
So when I graduated from Boston College with Education, I was like, that's it, I'm coming back to New York. I came back to New York, but I was actually modeling, and I enjoyed it. Oh, and it's one hour. Oh, I see. You put two. Oh, well, excuse me. Y'all are professional over here. So what happened was, I was modeling, Grace DeMarco, faces going places, all this crazy stuff. But then I got married. And my ex-husband at that time was the producer. So I was like, okay, my mom always told you a good woman supports her husband in his endeavors. So I was like, all right, let me get into this music industry stuff. And I was really good administratively. And shout out to Time Warner because they had a temp program that I wish they never got rid of. And I was able to hold the planes on the 30th floor where all the executives are. But when I landed in the Black Music Division of Atlantic Records, I was like, this is where I want to be.
This is it, right? This is it.
And shout out to DJ Fumi. I tell his story all the time. I love him to death.
Okay, shout out.
Yeah, he wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to be an A&R assistant. So we kind of plotted it a little bit. We was like, he was like, all right, I'm big. You want to do this? I want to be out. So I'm just going to let you, get sick a little bit more and then just up and bounce. And they'll hire you because you've been the permanent temp. And that's exactly what happened. And the rest is history. I mean, from there, I went to G Street, learned international law because outside of being A&R, I was also A&R administration.
Nice. Okay.
And I worked PM Dawn, Grave Diggers, Dougie Fresh, and that's where I really got an opportunity to meet all the true schoolers, and I love them to death.
Right.
And then from there, I started my own marketing consulting company, and I actually managed the first Asian hip hop group that was signed to RUFF House, and then they went independent, and their name was the Mountain Brothers, and we did phenomenal work with them. Shout out to the fellas. I think Charles is still producing, and the biggest thing was that they opened up the Tribe Called Quest. And then shout out to a girlfriend of mine, Deidre Tate. She was like, "Listen, I got some people up in Yonkers that could probably use your services." And when I met Siobhan and DMY, it was like, okay, but I felt like, I would have been better off being part of the team instead of the outsider, because it was so much going on. And what a lot of people don't realize is there was really, in the very beginning, only 5 people, that was part of the core. And then we utilized Def Jam and all their services for everything else. And then we just started growing.
Okay, that makes sense.
And we had, the motorcycles, and we had everything else, you know what I mean? Right. So we just took over the streets. But yeah, that was very exciting times of my life. I wouldn't repeat it for anything. A lot of work.
Right.
20-hour days.
Right, of course.
But I loved it.
Sidebar. So wait, do you ride?
No, I ride great on the back.
Me too.
And I ride in the T-Rex.
I'm a good backside rider, okay?
But it is one of my aspirations, though,
Yes, that's definitely on my bucket list too. Yes, I would love to learn how to actually. So I was like, long story short, I was part of like this bike riding group way back in the day in Philly, even though I was a New Yorker at the time. But it was because I was dating somebody who was part of that bike riding group, and he tried to teach me, and it was like, oh no, it's gonna mess my shoes up.
Listen, I have a mark.
Forget it. I changed my mind.
I have a mark on my leg from touching one of the hot pipes.
Girl, yes, it's dangerous.
Part of lifestyle.
Right. So for the people that are watching, because we have people that are watching and listening, and that are aspiring entertainment industry folk, right? Whether they want to be an artist or whether they want to be an A&R, like what would you tell them about your journey that was like a turning point for you, where you kind of like knew where you fit? Because I think that's like the thing that's hard for us as people in this industry, especially like someone like me as an artist, like where do we fit, right? So what was your turning point that kind of like told you where you should be and where you should stay?
I'm an explorative person. So I think everything was just destiny. You know what I mean? It just kind of flowed. I'm somebody that's a giver. So I was always in the mix, advising artists on this or advising artists on that, or maybe seeing where this next hot artist is. And I went everywhere. I was in the ciphers, in the cut, everywhere. I love being in the cut. So, you know what I mean? It was an exciting time for me. I didn't even realize what I was doing. I was just doing. Okay. And sometimes with doers, that's the other part of the equation, that you don't realize what you do until after it's done, and somebody says to you, "Yo, XYZ LLP, I saw you at QRS." Right. And you're like, "Oh, okay."
That's true.
But I just love creativity, and only now in my life have I realized that I've been an artist my whole entire life.
Yes, you
and
have.
Anybody that knows me, I've been an artist advocate. And so what I say to artists all the time is, learn the business.
That's true.
I mess up, excuse me. I mess up artists' minds, because I say, when you look at yourself, you say yourself as an artist. As an executive, you're intellectual property. You're a product, really, to be honest with you.
Right.
As an executive, you're a product, and what you create is intellectual property. It's not music to me.
Got you. So we have to start looking at it from a different perspective.
Exactly. When you start looking at it from that point, then you start realizing, oh snap, I really need to know the value. I really need to know how to sell it, how to place it. And that's the perspective that artists should really take in anything they do.
Got it. I love that. Like, so what would you say was your favorite part of the industry so far? Because we know you're still going, girl. But so far, like, out of all the roles that you played and all the hats that you've worn, what was like your favorite so far?
What I'm doing right now.
Really?
I'll tell you a funny story. So, throughout my whole career, I've always had superiors, and even when as general manager or president of Rough Rider Lifestyles, I still had to go to D1 Siobhan.
Okay.
So when I finally decided to do my own thing, my own book, my own acting career, my own productions, when I would have meetings, I wouldn't have to do that last step, which is after I've done a deal and I got everything agreed, then I got to see if my people agree with me. The most amazing experience of my life was when I didn't have to do that. It was like, oh, snap. Like, wait a minute, hold up. I really am in control of this son of a gun.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that part.
Okay.
So right now is my most favorite time in this industry.
I was just talking to one of my best friends, and I was we were talking about that, right? We were talking about our personality type, right? Now, me and her are both Geminis, but like, she was just saying that she has a personality type, like where she'd rather help someone build their vision. Whereas even though I'd rather help someone build their vision, I'd rather be in charge myself and build my own vision, because I always find myself putting more work into somebody else's situation. And I'm like, well, shoot, I could have did this myself. So is that pretty much like where you are at this point? Because we about to get into your book, CEO, okay?
Well, I guess, yeah, I'm somebody that bores really quickly. And after I master a skill, I'm looking at what's the next skill I can do. Where can I go from here? How can I apply the knowledge that I have to better tomorrow, today? That's always been my modus of operandi, and I think that's where the book comes into play.
Okay, well, let's get into this book then. So, CEO, tell us about how did you come across like the name, first of all, and then about like the whole vision to even write the book.
So the CEOs came many years ago, like in 96. Shout out to Saida.
Shout out.
Yeah, my sister friends, we did a book called 96 Tips to Transfer Your Business Today, Transform Your Business Today. And it was really like all these women executives just talking about various stories. And I was like, boy, these women are not CEOs, they're CEOs, because the first thing everybody sees is that you're a female. So Mazel put it in the front. And I felt like that was the differential. And then, I love my brothers. I've got a gazillion and one brothers in this game. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have succeeded at the level that I did. They've pushed me, they've advised me, they've pissed me off. But that motivated me to be the difference. That made the difference. And so, CEO versus CEO was all the things that I learned from my brothers. To the point where it was like, holy snap, okay, yeah, this needs to be passed on. And then the other thing is, the industry it has a paradigm shift, and so I'm hearing a lot of young ladies not understanding how to navigate. And that's what CEO versus CEO is about. It's not about competition. It's about effective communication with our brothers. So ladies, stop saying you want to help. Say you want to work with. Men listen and hear verbiage differently than us. See, when we say help, we're talking about partnership. When they say help to them, when we say help to them, it's subordinate. And it's a subliminal messaging. It's not even so overt because we're nurtured differently. Whereas if you say, yo, I want to work with you on this, you're already putting yourself equal. You're already positioning yourself correctly. And that's something I go into depth of. Women understanding what their positioning is within the business playing field. We don't think like that, but dudes think like that 24/7.
So it's kind of like the book by oh my God, I can't think of his name right now for some reason. It just Think Like a Man, okay?
Right? Yes, with an interesting twist though, because it's not about defining the lines. It's about understanding the differences so that you can see the similarities and know how to navigate from there as the foundation. You know what I mean? I think shout out to Steve Harvey, because I think
Steve Harvey. Oh my God. It was like my tongue. I'm so sorry, Steve.
Yeah, that helped a lot of women understand some of the byproducts, but it was from a man's perspective. See, what I've done is take a man's perspective and interpret it for women to understand. And the biggest compliment I got, shout out to Kevin Shine and the whole WSA writing session.
Shout out.
But I did a conference with them in Nashville last year. And I did my master class, and we had an award ceremony later, and two of the men who happened to be married winded up bringing their wives to me and saying, listen, you need to know this woman and you need to get her book. And those sisters bought it right there, Johnny Spot.
I love it. I love it.
That right there was the biggest compliment for me.
I love that.
That was the biggest compliment for me. So
yeah. I love the way like you are so definitive in like where you stand on the gender roles, right? And that you're like teaching us, right? You're not afraid, because like I feel like some people are afraid to speak their mind and to like really be just honest with the world, not just themselves. Because some people like us are always honest with ourselves, but then there are people like us that are afraid to be honest with the world as well. And so I love the fact that you're sharing your gift of knowledge with us. We got our boss man back on the line. So like
I'm nobody's boss, man.
Is there anything that you want to like, hit them with?
You know what I wanted to get into and speak about, because you do a lot of community work in the city. Let's talk about the empowerment of women empowerment and your personal experiences with dealing with folks that's battling domestic violence and abuse relationships. Like, tell us some of the work you do with that out there.
Well, I mean, I'm actually somebody, I'm finally talking about it, but I was somebody that psychologically was abused.
Okay.
I was an alpha female, but I got to a point in my life where I really didn't love my life. I didn't love myself, and I didn't understand why. And I equate it to, and it's very real, I equate it to somebody tapping you like this. That doesn't seem like nothing, but do that for an hour. Do that for a day. Do that for 3 months. Do that for 10 years. And now there's a hole there, because it's incessant. And so now you have to heal that. And so what I tell women all the time is, listen to yourself. Your spirit is going to tell you whether or not you're really happy. And don't be like that onion. The onion has the seed, right? But then there's a layer and another layer and another layer, and it looks big, right? But the seed is still this small. And so when you stop peeling the layers of denial, you really see who you are at the core. And that's what you should build, so that you're building on your own personal truth, and, truth sometimes can be very painful. But, like I said to you earlier, it's about facing that. It's about not being fearful. And for me, fear means face everything and rise.
Yeah, write down that acronym. Write down the acronym. Say it again, Amelia, for the people in the back.
Fear means face everything and rise.
Face everything and rise. I'm putting that in the chat.
When you face your truth, it's so liberating, and you can actually change for the better, because you're not repeating the same lie thinking you're going to get a different result. No, you're not. That's the truth. So face it, really, critique it, and understand what is what you caused and what was your result of. See, because as again, I believe that we should be of service. We should be used, but not abused. Yes. And there's a very thin line between that.
It's a very, very thin line.
That.
People really take your kindness for weakness. People,
It's a lot of narcissism out there these days.
Man, but there's a lot of evil out there. And I mean, let's just be honest with it. I feel like what happened to our world is doubt got entered into our vocabulary, into our lifestyle. And so the belief became less and less and less, to the point where anything can possibly be. And so the root of what is and isn't that you really should live by as truth, you kind of dismiss a little bit, because, well, maybe it's not.
Let's talk about that dismissal. Let's talk about dismissal real quick. Like, and me and you had this whole conversation earlier about relationships. And it's like, I really believe that some people don't even know that they're hurting you because they're so hurt and they're so deep in whatever they're doing in their life that they don't even know what they're doing to you. And so at that point, it's really about awareness and like you have to be aware of who you are and what the situation is doing to you instead of dismissing it. And that kind of like burns a hole in the relationship, and that kind of causes resentment, and that kind of causes hate. And then you can't even look at that person anymore. You can't even be around them anymore. Whereas if you were honest with yourself, realizing that this person is hurting, they don't even know if they're hurting you, you probably have to escape the situation or walk away from the situation, or navigate it, right? That's a good word that you use, right? Navigate it a different way.
Well, the truth is hurt people hurt people.
Oh, somebody just wrote that. Hurt
that's
people,
the truth.
People, yeah.
Whoever said that, that's the God's honest truth.
Renee in the building, yes.
You have to assess that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whether it's your own personal hurt or the hurt of that person that's not even realizing they're hurting you because of the learned behavior that they have, negative or denial. You know what I mean? Like, that's very real. And so the only way to get to the core of that is to have real, honest communication. And don't let it fester. Ladies, don't overthink it and don't let it fester. Yeah. Because 9 times out of 10, what you're thinking, most men are not.
Yeah.
And you blindside them. They're like,
that's true.
Wait, what? Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Because we're very observant. I love my brothers, but they kind of look like this, and we see.
We sorry, Chill, but it's a fact.
He's laughing.
Because I got double teamed, like I said at the beginning of the show, y'all. Getting double teamed. I mean?
It's a fact. Y'all brothers be kind of like
women. By 2 Brooklyn women, man. I'm over here in Jersey.
2 Brooklyn alpha women at that, like.
And they alpha women. Help me, fellas. Where are y'all? Where's everybody at?
So people are posting in the chat, which I'm loving this. So Renee said hurt people as soon as you pretty much said it. Then Ed said a lot of people can't face themselves. So that's a journey in itself, right? And also a learning curve.
Because you can never learn.
And the problem with that is when you're living a lie, right?
Living a lie. Not living a lie, girl.
Yeah, it's not that you're a liar because you feel like you're facing the truth. You feel like this is your truth, but you're actually in denial. And so you yourself have to break that ice. Nobody, people, and the only way that you can know if you're really living in denial is listen to what other people are saying to you.
Right.
When you start hearing the same thing, it's not them, boo. It's you. And I had to face that. I had to face that.
Oh wow, I'm loving this. What you got to say, Chill? Because I see you got stuff in your mind. I can tell you got something to say.
I'm gonna just switch it up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about some of the interviews you did. Your experience as a comedian, a singer. I'm gonna just change the energy a little bit because I'm the only one. Fellas, I can't do anything, fellas.
Right, we got none of the fellas responding. We got a couple of fellas on here, but they
I looked in the chat room. I said, you know what? This is the perfect time to just we're gonna take a little intermission and go down memory lane with Amelia real quick.
Right.
The comedian world. Like, can you tell me how you got involved in comedy?
Sure. Shout out to Ruth Morrison and my girl, my sister from another mother, Rosina. I was A&R at Atlantic. Rosina was PR, and she was a co-host of What's the 411. And they were looking for another host. And she was like, girl, you like to talk, and you know everybody. You should do it. And I was like, all right. I kind of fell into it. And then I got bit by the bug. I mean, I just love telling other people's stories. So I quickly, became a journalist, and the rest is history. Anytime I got a mic, let's go.
We're gonna have to give her a round of applause one more time. Like, let's give a shout out to your homegirl who saw the talent in you to go do that. You know what I mean? And that's big shit.
The best.
I love people like that.
Too.
Yeah, for
those
real.
2 women, they actually saw something in me that I didn't even know I had.
Facts.
And it was fun. I had my sister because she's really my cousin, but she's like my little baby sister. She loves me. Shout out to Renee. So, I mean,
Let me ask you this. how many times in your life has that occurred or happened? You know what I mean? Someone saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself, and it just when you followed that path, it just took you further and further down the rabbit hole, and some amazing things happen.
Yeah.
Every single time. I mean, I just believe in divinity. I really do. And everything that I've done, even now, just looking back, it was all what God called me to do, good, bad, indifferent. And there's always a lesson. I tell people there's no such thing as good and bad. There's a lesson to learn and a time to celebrate.
Everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. And whatever is before you, it's probably a test if it's not appealing to you. So just knuckle up and knock that test and ace it, and learn the lesson that you need to learn. Have that strength, that inner strength to say, all right, here we go. You know what I mean? And when it's those wonderful moments, thank God for them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And give praise both with the positives and what I call the regressive. Because sometimes, you pull a slingshot back, the further you pull it back, the farther it goes. So sometimes God pulls you back just to send you forward. It's just the way I believe.
Well, I love, like, girl, we could talk all day. So I wish we had more time. I do want to just throw a little sidebar in here that I met Amelia when she was judging, when she was one of the judges on a new reality TV show, of course, about in Philly, that would be out hopefully at the end of this year. So you can look to see her.
R.I.P. my queen.
Yes, definitely. R.I.P. to Novi. Novi passed away, which is what kind of like halted our project for a while. Yeah.
But I'm glad to see everybody persevered. I'm glad to see everybody put it together, and I'm glad to see that they're still pushing forward. So that is the name of the game. That's the lesson to learn. I know I got a few more minutes.
So that's why I'm gonna wrap it up a little bit. So Amelia came through for us for Surviving Philly. That's how we met. She's a dope personality. She is a CEO. She has a lot to say. We can all learn from her. Do you do public speaking engagements? Just really quickly, if you want to shout that out.
Yeah. So I mean, I usually have the website CEO versus CEO, but complications. Learning this whole internet world is intense. So you plus and minus. So but I enjoy, and I want to give this to people. Samcart is a really good platform. If you get a chance, check that out. And the other thing that I'm going to want to say is that I'm getting ready to have my own TV show on a new television network. So I'm very excited about it. Shout out to Darren, the CEO of NubianTV.net. The name of the show is The Hip Hop Tour, and I did it in 2013. And shout out to Angel Vargas, co-executive producer, co-director, editor, Imagine Mindset.
Wait, Angel Vargas, is he from MNN? Is he from MNN in New York?
No. My MNN show is Different Views, One Voice. And shout out to my team, Stanley, Nina, Monica. They all hold me down. And, the one thing I think that I've learned that I'm very thankful of is it's not about the solo journey. Look for the like-minded people and grow. And that's what MNN did for me.
Yes.
I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful, and to all you politicians out there, don't cancel public access. Continue to support it because it makes a difference in people that don't have access. This is our access, and it's our way to grow and learn skill sets that are transferable. Because I would have never been on Nubian had it not been for MNN. So
exactly, MNN got everybody started. We all got started on MNN, girl, and
Anna and Richard,
and
Greg, and everybody, the whole team there.
Thank you so much, Amelia, for taking this interview. I really appreciate it because I know I hit at the last minute. What do you want to say? I'm sorry, Jim.
No, I'm just saying I'm glad we had her on. I would like to get in detail with you on some music stuff.
Well, we can come back. I can come back.
Oh yeah, we're gonna bring you back. Yeah,
we coming back, girl.
We had lost for time right now. We know
because I feel like right now, as an independent artist, the biggest mistake. There's two major mistakes they're doing. One, they're not filling out split sheets. Damn it, stop doing that.
They're not.
Studio complete as
Talk about it.
Before you finish that studio session, once that record is complete, fill out a godforsaken split sheet, please. And have it executed, please. And if that person doesn't want to sign it that you're collaborating with, look at them with a side eye. Because if I'm working with you, you shouldn't have a problem signing that I did this and you did this. And if they did, that's
I got my split sheet.
Yeah.
There you go. That's
Amelia, you got to get on the website on that one right there.
And the second thing, you can just Google web split sheets.
Yeah.
It's a standard agreement. It's real easy. It says, I did this, you did this. I have this percentage, you have this percentage.
And who gets it? Who's in charge of the master? Let them know that. Who's in charge of the master?
There you go. And then the second thing is, I'm done. The second thing is C.B. Bullard, the first guy that taught Sylvia Roan, put her on the back of the motorcycle and taught her promotion. He told me when I first got into Atlantic, there's only two things you're going to sacrifice for nothing or no one, and that is your reputation and your opinion. And so I share that with everybody that's listening, because those things rep you when you're not in the room.
I love it.
I like that. Amelia, it's been a pleasure.
Yes.
We really appreciate you coming on, you know what I mean, giving us game and also letting us know how you are a fixture in the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We really appreciate that.
Thank you. And if you just want to follow me, IG is the best way. I'm on that 24/7, and it's Ameliamore, like you guys spelt it. And thank you. You guys have been so professional. I mean, I loved everything you did with the promo. I felt like I was in the old school days, but I really got to bounce because these guys want to go home.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you need to drop off, go ahead, and me and Cho will go ahead and finish.